Welcome to the start of what the New York Conference believes will be the most diverse, inclusive, and yes, ambitious campaign that we have ever undertaken. Today, Tomorrow, Together will be our theme as we respond to what God has in store for us. Over the next few minutes, you'll hear examples of how the New York Conference is channeling funds provided by you to rejuvenate our brick and mortar churches, to expand our virtual and hybrid worship experiences, to place a renewed emphasis on caring for the mental and emotional health of our church leaders and those they serve. And as always, to celebrate and continue to nurture equity, inclusion, and diversity in our faith journeys. We believe Today, Tomorrow, Together will be a campaign well worth your attention and involvement. Thank you, and God bless.
And for over 25 years, I was a pastor of the Bedford Park Congregational Church in Bronx that has served its community for over 130 years. This church, like other old parishes, needed much care to its deteriorating infrastructure: the sanctuary, the fellowship hall, and the parsonage. We did not have a big finance campaign in our planning, so we tried to raise funds during our fellowship hour by inviting members to sell baked goods, soups, and international ethnic foods during summer lawn parties, and of course, our annual flea market. As Paul writes to Corinthians, God loves a cheerful giver.
What do we need to do? How do we need to prepare ourselves? What resources do we need to acquire in order to help our churches be ready for tomorrow, the other side of this pandemic, if you will?
God works in mysterious ways, and I think if we really kind of take a step back and reframe the pandemic from a positive light, that this is something good that has been able to come out of this, that churches, faith organizations can literally connect with people throughout the nation, but also throughout the world. And that to me is such a blessing.
And so Courtney got with Mom, and we taught Mom how to use Zoom. We taught her how to use Skype. She's pretty tech savvy to be 90 years old.
It is the most wonderful thing that I can be connected spiritually with my family, when Marsha is preaching. And
so this being available to her at her home, she's able to get the same experience.
Some of my friends that I know, they are glad that it's online because they can worship in their pajamas and a cup of coffee.
My daughter has been a wealth of insight for me in ministry into, reaching millennials. That millennials are not interested in going to church. They're interested in being the church. And so they want to change the world because of the technology, because of the moves that we're making. The ministries in New York are able to impact the world. And that's what we're here for. That's why we do what we do. And that gets me excited, as you can see.
As a friend of mine very aptly said a few weeks ago, God did not call us into depletion. And so it is very good to hear that this campaign will take into consideration that we should not be called into depletion.
And it's important that we have the means to support those pastors as well, because a healthy pastor is going to only help invigorate the local church and ultimately help the local church to be healthy as well.
Mental health is a huge part of the human experience. And if we're being honest, I think that there are many who step into pulpit Sunday in and Sunday out who are honestly wrestling with their own mental health. And yet we are challenged to preach hope and preach a message of love while we are battling and navigating depression and so many other things.
But because I know I have the support of the United Church of Christ behind me, I'm much stronger.
Whether we worship together virtually or in a beautiful old church that has been fixed up, God calls us to work together, pray together, and grow together.
But also, as we gather together with the New York Conference, there's just a sense of solidarity and strength. And I just see this great cloud of witnesses kind of coming together and just continuing on.
I really don't think that you're going to have a hard time selling my generation or the ones behind me on a church that is focused on justice, that is focused on equity and equality, and making sure that we, as the UCC says, like, come as you are. All are welcome here.
Even in the name, today, tomorrow, and together, there's this perpetual rolling on of what is happening. And so my invitation to us would be that we join in the work of perpetually sharing God's love beyond this moment and into the future.
I can't imagine living out my faith journey in any church but the United Church of Christ, in particular here in the New York Conference. Today, tomorrow, together.
Friends, what you've just seen is the work that the New York Conference wants to be about. And I am convinced that inside all of us is the desire to be a part of something that is bigger than ourselves. We need you to catch this vision and then join us in this incredible work. We need your hands. We need your wallets. We especially need your voices so that we can tackle the problems that are plaguing our world and our churches. God is calling us in New York to not just do church, but we're called to be the church. And beloved, I know that we can do this today, tomorrow, together. God bless you.